It's alive! Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon. I'm Mel.
I'm Mel.
I'm B.
Yes, episode 109. Today, how are we all doing, Mel and Mel B?
Tired.
Exhausted.
10 p.m. in the evening night.
Of which this is done. Well, none
Friday
of us
night,
are here.
baby.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is living it up, partying their way downtown. We're here providing you with everything Mel Brooks.
He would be so proud.
We watched some Mel Brooks movies. He is a guy who is a director, an actor, a man, a legend, a performer, and maybe some other things we don't know about him.
That's true. He is all of those.
Yes, so we watched 3 of his movies. These are the only Mel Brooks movies I've seen, so
Yes.
that is what we will talk about. Has anybody else seen any other Mel Brooks movies?
I think I've seen pretty much all of his movies. I think there's like
Jesus.
2 or 3 that I've not seen. A lot of that's because my parents are big fans of his, so they kind of like passed that on at a very young age.
You're like the Mel Brooks expert.
Apparently so, yeah.
The Mel Brooks spurt.
Well, out of us 3, you definitely would be, wouldn't you?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about Mel today and all the lovely
old
things
Mel.
he's done for the cinematic landscape. This is his episode, so here you go, Mel.
Yeah, it's
This
well
one's for
timed
you.
actually, because he's just putting out a mini series. It's like the first thing he's like written in, I think, decades.
Oh,
Nice.
that's sequel to whatever
Yeah,
it was
he
did.
put out a film in the 80s called History of the World Part 1, and now he's doing a 4-part miniseries, The History of the World Part 2. It's got like all the like Saturday Night Live crew, like those
Oh, cool.
like big American comedians in it.
Yeah. I hate those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the trailer and it looks pretty shit.
I don't know what it is about SNL that I just don't like.
Yeah, I mean, there's talented people in this thing. Like, I think Bill Hader's in it.
Yeah.
Then there was like a load of other people like Fred Armisen and people like that who I do like.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see.
The SNL is all right. We'll see, Mel. Maybe he's lost it.
Yeah, he retired from making movies in the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was probably a good thing because after these 3 movies, I don't think he really made anything else worth watching.
No, he probably... That's fine. You just give up like that, Mel. We're talking about 3 movies from a time when Mel Brooks was not giving up. He was around and kicking like never before. We got movies going back to the 60s. My God. So we got The Producers, Blazing Saddles, and Young Frankenstein. These are old-ass movies, so we're going to talk about some of them and also about Mel Brooks. Chris, you chose the first one.
No. Darcy picked
Darcy,
the first
you
one.
chose the first one. Sorry, we're doing
That's
it
what we do,
in
release
chronological order, release-wise. So,
Yeah,
Darcy, you chose the first one. Take it away.
This is like brand new territory for me. I'm always the last one to go. So I picked The Producers from 1967. About, I guess he's a washed-up Broadway producer, and he gets his accountant that he's just hired to like con old ladies into investing in this, what they need to be like the worst musical known to man, so it shuts down so that they can keep all of the money that they've got from investments, but it actually goes really, really well.
Spoilers.
Damn, son. It goes damn well. Oh, they're wringing their hats about this, I tell you.
That's what they did back in the 67s.
This is what everyone does, and they made a comedy movie about
Tax
really
fraud.
just how everybody lives in Hollywood and just rich people, how they live day to day. It's like Jeff Bezos, the movie, if he cared about being poor whatsoever or
Yeah.
could become poor.
Yeah, he'd never have to worry about being poor, will he?
No, it'll go down with the ship.
I think the film was based off a play, if I remember correctly, that Mel Brooks obviously wrote as well.
Yeah, I think it did say something about a screenplay. It's almost like like a thing within a thing.
But it does kind of, a lot of the time, I think it does kind of feel like a play because it is very wordy. A lot of the movies only set in like a handful of locations, and like every time they're in a location, like each scene lasts quite a while. Like, I think the opening of the movie, like the first half an hour is all set within this one like office building.
Yeah, they got to make the most of it. Got to make the most of their time on the set before they're not allowed to be there anymore. Gene Wilder is here. He's in all of these movies.
He is.
I know him from the when he played Willy Wonka, which is a great role and a great movie. But I think that's basically all I know him from. So to watch 3 Gene Wilder movies in a row, you get a sense for what he's like as an actor. He's fucking good.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor. What do you know?
I'd probably say he's my favourite comedic actor. Just no one does it like him. Well, I mean, no one does it as well as him. I can think of a lot of people who seem to like try and copy his style of acting, but it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
He's got a pizzazz, doesn't he?
He certainly does have a pizzazz. Yeah, but like in this movie, I think I kind of found him a little bit annoying as Leo Bloom, the accountant. Only because he screams a lot and he gets very agitated and he's like out of breath, and I don't know if I care too much for like just screaming as a form of comedy.
No. Normally I don't really like that kind of thing. Like I always think of like Will Ferrell as someone who does that a lot.
Yeah, it's like overacting, but
I don't mind it in this.
Yeah.
I think mostly just because the whole like film just does kind of feel quite chaotic, so it kind of feels in line with.
Well, yeah, from
that.
the get go, it was just chaos, wasn't it? It's just like
Where he's,
loud
like, fucking
music
those old
and
ladies.
fucking yeah.
Yeah, and every once in a while, there's like this scene where he's fucking these old ladies.
Well, he's not actually
like,
fucking these old ladies,
cutting
is he?
to like like credit cards, and it will like be loud music suddenly blaring.
Yeah.
Freeze frame shots and stuff.
It was like the first scene, and like the credits just like kept going, but it like it froze on them, and I was like, what the fuck? What is happening?
So like,
It was
just when you
weird.
think it's over, it's
Yeah.
not over.
But that annoyed me. I was like, just stop.
It does
Just
go on
do
way
it.
too long.
Just put the credits on and then just like play the movie, like whatever. I know they had to do the credits at the beginning in 1967, but to stop the movie every time a credit comes on screen, I'm like, oh, come on.
And I felt like the music got more obnoxious and louder as it went on for some reason. I don't know why.
You like that old woman who was like meowing at him?
Yeah, that,
Like right at the beginning.
that killed me. I thought, it's going to be one of those movies, is
My
it?
fight or flight response up immediately. Like, oh, I don't know about this.
I feel like it would do, though. It's kind of creepy.
It is weird, yeah, that he fucks all those old ladies. But, you know, he was showing them a good time. And I think at the end of the day, if nobody gets hurt, that's all right.
Yeah, they like
He's just a
Leo
bit of a
has that
freak.
like monologue when they right at the end when they're in court, and he's kind of just like, "Who did we hurt?"
Yeah.
He's providing a service.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's doing that, for sure.
I don't think any of the old ladies actually cared that they lost all their money. They just kind of
Well, they're
like the
rich, aren't they?
attention.
They probably used it to wipe their ass with. Do you know what I mean? They probably didn't care.
Yeah, probably. They just wanted companionship from a younger man.
He was a really creepy fucking.
He was creepy, yeah. He was a weirdo.
Yeah.
He's exactly the kind of person to do this type of thing and launder money.
yeah. He is slimy as fuck.
And he's so sweaty. It's like unbelievable
It's
watching
a
him.
good buddy movie sort of type
Yeah.
thing with the two leads, and I think they bounce off each other very well. And as somebody who hasn't really delved much into Gene Wilder before, I thought as like a sort of an introduction, I suppose, because he's worked with Mel Brooks a lot. I mean, he's in all these movies, and
I think these three are like the only three they did together though.
no, well,
Never
how
mind.
crazy is that? We all just picked like a movie each, and we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it, like. And then all of them starred Gene Wilder, and they were the only ones Mel Brooks did with Gene Wilder.
Yeah, and now we just assume that they're like best
these
mates
guys,
or something.
Yeah, these guys are tight.
They're in cahoots like Tim Burton and Johnny Depp.
Well, they probably are or were quite tight.
Yeah, I mean, they were really close mates. They just didn't work a lot together after these movies.
That's all, I suppose. I like that German guy. the whole premise for this movie is like fucking weird as hell.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst play we could put on? It was like, was it Springtime for Hitler?
Yeah.
And they run with that like the whole time. It's stupid as hell, but it is quite funny. I will say. I don't think I like loved it. I didn't like laugh all that much. But it definitely has its moments, and like the absurdity of it is very infectious, I think.
That's probably
Yeah,
what made it
definitely.
really funny for me. It's like, how much more stupid can this movie get? And then they somehow seem to double down on it. Like it gets even more dumb. And it's like,
Yeah.
how is this possible?
That's why I love it so much, I think, because it is ridiculous. But it's just so, like you said, Max, it is really infectious.
Hitler could dance the pants of Churchill.
I like the way he just kept banging on about Churchill.
Yeah, he's my favourite character in the movie. I think that's like such a great performance as well.
He is good. The man with the pigeons.
Yeah.
The Nazi.
Well, you didn't like
The
the
Nazi with
the
the
guy who
pigeons.
played Hitler.
Which one?
He was good.
Yeah, the
Loads of
yeah,
The guy who was like
singing
Jim
and stuff.
Morrison or something, like
Yeah.
a 60s.
Yeah, he was really good.
Everybody,
He was great.
flowers.
You almost feel like when they're like trying to be funny in a movie,
Mm.
and all the audience is laughing at it, that you could be like, oh, all right. But it was actually genuinely funny when he was up there being Hitler and camping it up.
Yeah.
He was very entertaining. I liked him a lot. I liked his song that he did with those
That jazz band. or
those
whatever.
jazz band ladies. Yeah, they were great. You couldn't hear the saxophone that she was playing. Chris pointed out, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
did someone say it sounds
Like,
more
there
like
were
sound
three
like
people.
a drum
One of them had
machine
a
or something?
saxophone. You couldn't hear it.
Yeah, one of them had a saxophone, someone had a guitar, and someone had a keyboard,
Mm.
but there was bass and drums in there that were just coming from somewhere.
From the saxophone.
It's
They all came from there.
It's a hybrid instrument. I enjoyed that. Do you know what? That was probably done on purpose as well. I could imagine because it's just that kind of movie.
Yeah, like doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they missed it or not. It just works.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take you out of the movie. It's
Yeah.
just
Not at all. It's just really funny.
I know.
His name was LSD.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
I do really love that whole play sequence towards the end. I think, especially for its time, it must have been super like shocking and subversive.
Yeah.
Like
In
only
the
like
60s.
25 years after
Mm.
the Second World War ended. So it's like, it's pretty fresh. It's pretty like, still
Yeah.
very recent.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be like generations of people still like fresh from it being
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
this
But
is
it's not like
something.
condoning it or anything. It is taking the absolute piss out of it all.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, but I could imagine people not liking that. You know what I mean? Like it's quite
yeah,
it's
maybe.
quite a subject to
There would have
get
been
into,
a lot
isn't
of
it?
people who were really offended, but
Yeah,
I feel
that's- I
like there
think
would
that's
have
what I
also
mean.
been a lot of people who were like, "Oh my god, like
Mm-hmm.
this is exactly what we needed."
But there is
Yeah.
like those two types of people though. You could either get upset about it or you can just kind of go, yeah, that was a weird time.
Yeah, it depends on your disposition, I
Yeah.
suppose. You could either be just having a laugh, or you could be a fucking pussy.
To be fair, yeah, I guess it depends on how you're affected by stuff like that. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally, my eyes are like, I mean,
Yeah, people who like lived through the Second World
Yeah,
War
it sounds
still
fucking
alive when
horrific,
it
yeah.
happened.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
When this
I
movie
mean,
came out.
I think you take the piss out of it, make jokes about it, you
Yeah.
kind of remove the power from it, which is
Mm.
good. If you like don't do that, then it's almost like even though they lost, they kind of won in a way because their
Mhm.
power is still felt through people.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of what I don't know, like what I was getting from it, especially when you're seeing like this guy like trying to be seriously Hitler, but he comes off as like satirical Hitler, kind of it gives you the same sort of feeling. It's like, yeah, he can't hurt me because he's just a stupid man who couldn't go to art school, that kind of thing. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
he's just shit.
There's like an audition sequence where they bring in loads of people to audition as Hitler.
They're all
and the
too
scene
good, aren't they?
starts off with like 50 Hitlers on stage, like all like with their arms in the air and jumping and shit.
Yeah. That was
It's actually
great.
it's quite
Yeah.
weird imagery, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine being on that film set and being like, right, we're all going to
Yeah,
dress
they all
up
have
as
to, like,
Hitler.
sing as well. Well, to sing as Hitler.
Like, oh my
I
god.
wrote down High School Musical audition scene.
It did have
Mhm.
that kind of vibe, to be fair. Like, you have to
Did.
get someone really terrible and then some like really great ones.
Yeah, and you can never do it as good as High School Musical, but it was still good.
Yeah.
That is true.
There's great music in this as well. I think that Springtime for Hitler song is like a genuine banger.
It is good,
It
yeah.
actually was a banger.
I like the Prisoners of Love scene at the end
that
where
was
they're like
great.
in the prison. and they're like,
Yeah.
we won't do it again, we promise. And then they just like, do it again in the prison.
Yeah, like what I don't understand about that is like in prison I didn't think you had money. Maybe you do. I don't know. I've never been to prison, so I don't know. But what they like exchanging, because they don't have money, do they? They're just like, this is your share of this play. Like,
you can't have money in prison. Because what would you do with it?
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what are they actually exchanging? They're like, we want to invest. It's like, why? What
So
is
that
the
when they
point
get
in this?
out and it's a big success, they're rich, right?
Yeah.
This was like a feature-length version of that one episode of Toast of London where like they put on that show at the Golden Globe and like the director like makes them act like dogs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you're
They
talking
kind of
about.
like,
Yeah.
this is shit, isn't it? So they have to burn down the Golden Globe.
They had burnt down.
I find it quite interesting that this is a movie where these characters, especially like Max, is like they're kind of unlikable.
Yeah.
They're kind of like although they say, "Oh, who are we actually harming?" They are still like doing bad shit, but they don't learn their lesson. They don't grow from it or anything. I think that's quite rare in a movie. Normally, they will have like
some redemption.
yeah,
arc
they'll
or
have a
something.
redemption or they'll grow from it like as the movie goes on. But
That's
they
the
don't
comedy.
really do that. If anything, they kind of get worse as the movie goes on.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well,
It's
yeah, if you-
hilarious to see them
Yeah.
learn absolutely nothing and then go to prison and just do the same thing in
yeah, like
prison.
in for a penny, in for a pound. They know they're fucked, so they're like, "Oh, we're going to jail anyway, so let's just
That's showbiz, baby.
do it."
Yeah.
Especially when he's like, "Can you just go and kill all the actors?" And everyone's like, "Wait a minute, why?"
I love that scene where they like go to like this guy's house and he was like the casting director
Yeah.
and he was like wearing a dress and they're like, this man is wearing a dress. And like just none of us laughed like at all. We were like it didn't really age well, I don't
No,
think.
yeah, I guess
Because nowadays it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
whatever.
yeah, it doesn't really touch us as a generation, does it? But like, I guess
Back in the
back then that
60s,
would have been
yeah.
like so like scandalous and hilarious.
Yeah, I think especially the first two of these movies have a lot of things that have not aged well,
Yeah.
a lot of jokes.
A lot of
but
jokes.
that's
There are a
kind of
lot of
like-
things you couldn't do in a movie now.
No, but that's just kind of what you get with like going back to older comedies a lot of the time, just
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
times change, you know.
That's
I don't
the
know
thing
if
that
that,
that
stuff's
we
just
couldn't
not
do
okay.
it nowadays. It's just that
No, it's
who would
not.
want to? Like,
Yeah, it's not that at all. Like,
it's just
yeah,
not
no,
funny.
you know what I mean. Yeah,
it's
like
not
you
funny
could do
to show
it.
a man in a
Yeah.
dress just because, and that's the joke.
no.
Because
Yeah,
it's just not funny, is it?
Yeah, I guess it does. It's like a non-joke, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like because like no one would bat an eyelid, really, would they? They'd just be like, "Oh, this is meant to be funny,
Mhm.
ha ha ha." And it's like, just who cares?
Yeah. Maybe
Although
he'll do
he
it
was
again.
he was a very
Maybe Mel will
eccentric
do it
man.
again in his new mini-series.
Maybe.
Mate, but
I don't think he could. I think people would cancel him instantly.
I just don't think
Not that
people
he'll
would
care.
find it
he's
funny.
Like, he's like a 90-year-old man.
Yeah.
He'd probably be like, what?
Cancel? What is it? What do you mean?
You can't
You
cancel
can't
me.
cancel
I'm
a
real.
Even if he, like, someone did try and cancel him, I don't think he'd give a shit anyway. He'd just be like,
No.
whatever.
I think he's probably at that point of his life and his career where, yeah, who
I
gives
mean,
a
I'll be
fuck,
honest,
you
I don't really
mate?
know what cancelling means.
I don't think it really means anything.
Cancelling,
Like,
yeah,
you're cancelled. Like, what does that mean? They can still work, can't they?
Yeah.
yeah. This is the thing. Like, I guess the only thing about like the whole cancel
Like, some people
culture
don't
stuff
like them,
is
I
that-
guess.
yeah, they just want really what it should be is an open-ended conversation of like, can you please take accountability for this tweet that you made in 2011 where you used the R word for something or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it has to be you're cancelled because I don't want to hear your opinion. I don't hear
Like
your
when they
side of
tried
the
to
story.
cancel James Gunn and now he's the head of DC.
Yeah.
Why did
Like-
they try to cancel James?
Because he put out a bunch of like tweets years and years ago that were quite offensive.
He
Kind
was
of
like trying to make jokes, but they
and
were
there was
actually
like rape jokes
yeah,
and like
poorly.
yeah.
Oh, a little bit out of
communicated.
taste. But
yeah,
the thing
but
is,
that's kind of like him. He is,
Yeah.
especially like back in the day, like his background and stuff. He did do a lot of like really shocking stuff.
Yeah, but
and then he's grew from that, and he did accept that, and he apologized.
That's
for
the
it.
thing.
God
like,
forbid these people watch any movie from
Yeah.
the 20th century.
Yeah,
I just
It's
think it's
riddled with shit that's like so much worse than what they're finding now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He said that gender was real.
I just think it's a bit embarrassing.
Watch any movie from like 2002.
Yeah, why
before,
you
and before that?
and like why you like if it was a tweet from like a year ago or something, I might have been a bit more like, oh, that's not great. But like, yeah, when you're a lot younger and you're doing like you still like go back in time to anyone's fucking social media and tell me you can't find something that will cancel them. I was telling my my boss this the other day. I was like, you need to watch yourself, right? Because if you guys get really famous, you guys are going to get cancelled for some of the shit that you guys post.
Well, that's why I find it very hard to be offended by movies from a certain age. You know?
They didn't
There's
know
like
better,
no
really,
point
did they?
whatsoever
Yeah.
in being upset about anything that's going on in these movies. Like,
But then I
who
guess
cares?
I-
really.
I guess the only thing is that like,
First of all, it's over and a lot of these people are dead.
yeah, I mean, I just from like, I don't know if I'm trying to be Switzerland about this, if that's the right term of phrase. I guess a lot of people would just argue that because we're like, I don't know. I guess we're all in each part of some sort of privileged category, so we don't get a say or whatever, to some degree.
There's nothing that bad in this movie or any of these movies.
No, it's just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the second movie maybe, but then it's satire. We have to take it from the angle that this is all meant to be satire and stupid. Like we can't take it seriously because
If
it's
these
a
were
commentary.
dramas, they'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. You got to take it on the chin with these because they're just meant to be funny commentaries, aren't they? I suppose.
Yeah, and I don't think any time they do try and go for anything edgy, like with like the Hitler stuff later on, don't think they ever do it just for a cheap joke. It always feels like justified, and it's always like smart and well written.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to as well with it being so close to the end of the war as well. Like you can go so wrong so quickly.
I think it just goes beyond not wanting to offend people. It's just like tell a good story or like make people laugh, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
if it's not funny, it's not funny.
Yeah. That's the thing, because it is funny, but like there are points of it
Some
where
of it is.
where you want to laugh, where you laugh and you're like, should I have laughed at that? Like that, like that's how I felt pretty much throughout like at least the first two movies. I was laughing and I thought, I don't know if I should be laughing at this.
For the longest time, I really, really loved this movie, and it was one of my like favorite movies. But rewatching it this time, there was a lot that did make me cringe.
Mm-hmm.
It is a cringy movie, don't get me wrong, but I feel
Was
like
it that
that's
woman they get
part
as
of
a
it.
secretary,
the
and she's like
receptionist.
European, and like all she does is just dance around in a bikini.
Yeah, there's like a couple bits with her I found quite funny. Like whenever she's like saying about making love with him, like he'll just walk into a room and she'll just be like, "Oh, is it time to make love and stuff?"
Oh, I thought that whole thing was just like,
Yeah, I thought that was funny, but like the go to work and then she starts like strips down, starts dancing. That was just a bit weird.
Yeah.
I feel it
Well,
doesn't.
so you can see a sexy woman dance around,
Yeah,
right?
It just doesn't hit right though, does it? Like it
Well-
like when Max was talking about this whole
Oh, I
like
don't
fight
know.
or flight thing, that was me going, I fucking hate this.
yeah. There's a lot of
I ain't gonna say I found it disgusting.
no. I wasn't saying
I'm not
that.
saying
It's
she
just-
is. I just think like I don't know, just like it just didn't need to be there either.
Yeah.
Like it just felt so like put
Throughout
in for
all of
nothing.
these movies, I think there's a lot of that sort of thing, like
Mhm.
just men staring at women and a lot of like racy stuff going on. But I
yeah,
feel
but is
like
that a Mel
part of-
Brooks thing? Because
yeah, I
I
was
feel
gonna say, I don't
like
think that's massively just a Mel Brooks thing. I think that's kind of just something
because
like,
he
of the
seems to
time.
just like run with that. Like he quadruples down on that. He's like, get it? Women are sexy. Ha 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 ha. And
That's
I'm
a
like,
lot of
it's-
movies
come
from
on.
back in the day.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, like yeah, pretty much like even the ones that we've watched recently that are older. I'm like, oh boy, you can't get away from it.
Yeah, you think women would take treated badly in 60s and before? What about every other demographic? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually, it's just so weird and sleazy to watch.
Like black
that it's
people
just
weren't even allowed to be characters until like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was like 67, 68.
Yeah,
Christ.
quite late.
That's
Yeah.
fucking
Quite late in the game.
Yeah, that's fucking mad.
Now look, we got Black Panther. Suck it.
Yeah, but let's not talk about Black Panther being the. This is not the pinnacle of
One
cinema.
more review
Okay.
next episode.
Has anyone seen the remake of this?
No.
No, me neither.
What was it?
Okay.
You said Matthew Broderick was
Yeah,
in
it's
this.
Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane, and Uma Thurman plays the like, receptionist.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know.
It was like so in the late 90s, early 2000s, Mel Brooks adapted it to a Broadway musical, and the remake is just an adaptation of that. I've not watched it. I've heard it's not amazing, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to check it out, but
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
I worry
thought-
about that. I like Matthew Broderick, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't. This movie's good, but I don't think I would watch it again. To be fair, I think it's like just on the cusp of being like, yeah, all right, pretty decent.
yeah, I think I like it, but it's.
I don't want to see Gene Wilder just like screaming a bunch anymore.
Yeah.
He is very annoying in this movie.
Yeah,
I think for me, a lot of my love for it is like more nostalgia now.
yeah.
But there is a lot of stuff I do really, really like, and I do think it is a very charming movie at points. But yeah, there's a lot that's quite dated.
It was very
cringy.
interesting, at least.
Yeah, it's a
If-
good concept.
Yeah,
very
I mean, like
original.
there's parts about this movie that I feel like you have to pull off, otherwise it is a disaster of
Yeah.
a film.
I think the dialogue is quite smartly written as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Actors aren't animals; they're human. Have you ever eaten with one? That's fun.
Yeah, that was good.
I like when like actors are given lines like that, or like when you watch a show or a movie and it like pokes fun at like the writers or the actors, and they're the ones saying, like in like Paddington, what was it, where one of the characters says, "Actors are some of the most devious people on the planet."
It's very
Yeah, it's
self-aware,
great,
isn't it?
yeah.
It's like,
funny stuff. Cool.
Anything else to add?
No thanks.
let's rate out of pigeons.
Pigeons.
Okay.
Goodbye, my powder pigeon.
He was mad.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's a lot of stuff that's dated in this, but there's a lot of stuff that I do still really love, and I do like have a strong place in my heart for it for a few different reasons. So I give it 9 pigeons out of 10.
I like when that old lady was like meowing.
Yeah.
That's the highlight.
What the fuck?
That's like the second time you brought that up in this episode.
Yeah,
That's how much he likes
it. sticks
it.
with me,
Yeah.
you know. I'm like, yeah,
It's ingrained in his brain.
that was a standout. I must say, very strange stuff. Yeah, decent. Thanks, Mel. 6 pigeons out of 10.
Nice and easy. 8
Nice and
pigeons
easy.
out of 10.
Yeah, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely stuff. Cool. The next Mel B movie we watched was Blazing Saddles from 1974. Blazing Saddles is about a man, a myth, a legend. Who's the guy who plays him?
No idea.
I don't
sounds
think I've
bad,
seen
doesn't
him
it? I
before,
actually have
but,
no idea.
It's basically about like it's the Old West. It's a Western comedy, and here we go, Cleveland Little.
Nice
He's in
name.
this, and there's a corrupt politician in the Wild West, and he needs to evict like a town to make room for this railroad he's building, and so he makes the governor appoint this black man as sheriff, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, you can't make a black man a sheriff." It's about him being sheriff, what the people think of him, and how he navigates the town, I suppose. And he tries to save them, even though they all kind of hate him. And it's about like a satirical sort of black comedy type of deal. and commentary on racism and all that. I like it in concept. I like it in concept, but I don't think it's very funny. From my own personal preferences, I didn't really laugh all that much.
Yeah.
I like the acting, and I like Gene Wilder in it, and I like Cleveland Little. He's very good. Although that said, I think like the sort of the parts where I had the most fun were probably towards the end, when everything just sort of went batshit. Yeah, I think a lot of people really like this movie. They really love Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
I was prepared. I was like, damn, son, let's do it. Blazing Saddles. This is going to be amazing. But no, I don't know. I didn't love it. I think you guys liked it a bit more than me.
Yeah, I really like it.
You looked as bored as I felt tired. Does that make sense? Like I was looking over and I thought, oh,
Yeah.
Max is not having a good time.
This is weirdly, it's one of the films that I have the earliest memory of watching.
Mm-hmm.
My parents showed me it when I was way, way too young to be watching it. And obviously at the time I didn't really understand what was going on. I just thought it was silly.
Chris, they call that conditioning.
Yeah. No, I was just laughing at like the swear words and like all the physical humor and shit.
Mm-hmm.
All the uses of the N-word.
Yeah, that.
You loved it.
All the hilarious racist jokes.
So yeah, I've seen it a lot of times throughout my life. I think the last time I watched it was literally like a year or so ago. I rewatched it because I hadn't watched it in a while. Kind of like the producers, I think there's a lot of really good stuff that I do love, but there's also some stuff that I think is quite dated and doesn't really work that well anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, once again, it's kind of like we just have to kind of take that on the chin, don't we? Really, kind of. Well, I guess it depends on what you're talking about, but
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes that I do find really funny, but then there's like quite a lot of misses as well. And when it misses, it like misses really badly, and at times it can be quite embarrassing.
I can't think of any of the jokes off the top of my head except that one where they beat up the KKK people and like rob their hoods, and then they like
when he comes
pretend to
out and
be
says,
them.
"Where the white woman at?"
Oh god,
Yeah, good stuff.
yeah,
He was good. He was really good.
yeah.
I like at the beginning there was a joke where like these two black workers fall into quicksand, and the people who are in command, they're like, oh shit, haul a rope in there and get that out. They like haul out the cart that they were driving on, and they're like, nearly lost a $400 cart. that was good. And they just leave them in there. That's good stuff. But there was also stuff like, there was like a scene where like a bunch of people were around a fire and they were just eating beans and farting a lot.
Oh yeah, that was just awful.
How
Like
sucky is
People
that?
love that scene. That's like a scene I constantly see like brought up in like funniest moments in cinema and shit.
It
No,
sucked.
I just kind of, what was it? I kind of piped up after ages of not speaking. I went, this is scraping the bottom of the barrel, really, because it's
it
like
is.
The lowest common denominator humor, isn't it? It's like, you love beans, we love farts.
Funny fart. Funny fart, funny.
Well, I think the thing is, it's like, obviously it's a Western, so it is like taking a lot of the tropes and things from Westerns and poking fun of it.
Sorry,
And
do they fart in Westerns?
So like a lot of
They eat a
Westerns,
lot of
all they'll
beans.
do is like eat beans and drink coffee. And I think the joke is like, if you eat nothing but beans and drink coffee, then you're going to be farting a lot.
Hilarious.
I mean, as true as that is, we didn't need a whole scene about it.
No, of course not.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't even like, they didn't even make a joke out the farts. Like, it didn't even like turn into a song or something. Like, I was like, okay,
The fart song.
yeah, bring me some, no, like they're all like different notes. So they like make a tune or something. No,
they
nothing.
skipped out on the fart song.
Yeah, they gave me nothing.
1 out of
There's a
10.
gap in the market.
It
Yeah,
sucks.
they
This
didn't even
movie
do the-
Just
sucks.
wait till our movie. That'll have a fart song in
Yeah.
it.
Can we recreate the campfire song, but with beans and farting?
beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs in this, weirdly.
I only remember that awful one where well, it wasn't awful, it just went on for too long, about that lady who's like, get it? I have sex with a lot of men and they're shit.
Yeah.
That scene went on for ages.
It
It's
did.
like
It
forever.
felt like forever.
I wanted to die.
Yeah, same. I think it's funny at first because she's like really bad at singing and like there's like humor in that, like all these like guys falling over themselves to get to her
It was
while
kind of
she's like
funny.
putting on an awful performance, but it goes on for like 5 minutes and it's just too much.
Yeah, it's like that whole novelty thing, like when we saw Elvana, and for the first 5 minutes, it's like the funniest thing you've ever seen, and then it dies very
People
quickly.
who don't know, Elvana are the band that are Nirvana, a Nirvana tribute band fronted by a guy dressed as Elvis.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and I
I thought
wish
that was just
yeah.
a word that Darcy
No.
made up.
No, they
No,
are
we saw
100%
them
a
at
band.
Download, and they were literally the first song
Yeah.
was funny, and then the rest of it was just awful.
Yeah, I think you have to be some type of inebriated to enjoy like a whole set. It's just, but yeah, this is that gave me the kind of the same feel. It was like, this is so funny, and then it just stops being funny.
One thing that was never funny, but they keep doing, is the amount of times they mention rape or just like
Yeah, that
allude
was a
to
bit
rape, and every time they don't even like. The joke is they mention rape.
I remember that coming up once.
It did come up a lot.
I must
It was
have
supposed to
ignored
be
it.
funny every time they
I think
said
the
it.
only bit I actually found funny was when they were like trying to hire like a bunch of bad guys. So there was like this massive queue of people queuing up, and they were like, "What's your crime?" And he's like mentions rape twice while listing it, and the guy goes, "You mentioned rape twice," and he was just like, "I like rape." That was like the only one I found funny.
I didn't find that funny
To be
at
fair,
all.
to be fair, I did also laugh
thought
at
that
that.
was
to be
really
fair.
bad, really poorly done.
That's the thing. It is a poor taste joke, but I just don't remember it coming up. That was the only bit I remember when it came up. But I think I just ignore it. Like it's just like I screen them out in my brain because I'm just like, I can't be bothered with this. It's too much.
Yeah. I thought it was like a really great bit with Gene Wilder. He's supposed to be like this old gunslinger, supposed to be the fastest hand in the West.
Oh my god!
In the world, he said.
Yeah, the Waco kid.
The Waco kid. and the way they demonstrate it is like, put your hands over the chess piece, and I'm gonna grab the chess piece before you. And he's like, you can't do that. That's impossible. And he like grabs the chess piece. What's his face? The sheriff, Bart is his name. He like grabs the chess piece. He's like, I got it. And he was like, did you? And nothing's changed whatsoever. But like he opens his hands and the chess piece isn't there. You're supposed to believe the fucking
Wait, what?
he was moving at the speed of light.
Yeah, what was the other thing? It came up again like near the
Yeah.
end or something.
Like there's a bunch of bad guys on horses like in a row, and like he shoots all of their guns out of their hands, and it cuts back to him, and his arms are crossed like he's not moved at all.
Yeah, it's great.
It was literally that joke from SpongeBob, wasn't it? Where like SpongeBob and that like they become like the like superheroes, and then SpongeBob's like, I can run really fast. Do you want me to run up that hill
Yeah.
again? It's just like him just standing there. It's so fucking stupid.
I think this is one of like only a handful of like parody movies that I think actually work well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that it's clear that the people making it actually like care about the genre that they're making fun of.
Yeah, it's no Back to the Future 3.
No, that is true.
Like, maybe it could be a Western. Maybe that. Or From
Mm.
Dusk Till Dawn. There's a lot of third movies that go to the West. I know.
There's so many of them.
Very strange. Yeah. I really like the third act though, where they sort of like, they're trying to blow up the town or like blow up the bad guys. And then they just like, they crash through the set and like go on to other sets in like this big block of like set buildings. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
everybody's
like the
like-
Warner Brothers studio.
Yeah,
lot.
and they, in the studios, and then they just like start fighting through other people's sets. It was great. And everybody gets involved.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I'm
I was
actually
like, what
not
the
a
fuck is happening?
Big fan of that sequence, to be honest.
Oh, what?
I think that's where the movie
Oh, I
like just
loved it.
turns to like
Yeah, it was-
what,
I
like,
kinda
what
felt like
happened?
they just
insane.
like didn't know where to end it, so just like, oh fuck it, let's just do this.
like
Nah.
like I like it was I just don't know. I just felt like it was just really random.
Yeah, it is random, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't actually hate it. I just thought it was.
No, I don't
really
hate it.
bizarre.
I do think it is kind of funny, but
I liked it. I like when that guy, he's like, I'm working for Mel Brooks, and he punches that guy in the face.
yeah, that bit is good.
And then like Gene Wilder, he like goes to the cinema to watch the movie that they're in.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's just batshit.
Yeah, does anyone get the Nick Cage vibes from that whole sequence where it's like, oh, it's a movie, watching our own movie?
Yeah. I don't know how else like I would have wanted it to end. Really, it was like because I wasn't really having fun up until that point, and then it was like, something's happening.
I mean, to be fair, I understand what you mean. Like, how would you have, how do you end a movie like that otherwise? I guess.
Yeah, I don't really care if they win because I don't really care about the characters all that much.
No.
There's not a lot to be invested, like in terms of like
if
characters.
It all ended and they were like,
you know.
we did it, we saved the town. Well done, Gene Wilder and Bart. You're like, okay.
That guy.
Yeah, they're
No, I know
like
what you
the
mean,
only characters you really spend a lot of time with, and they don't really develop them a lot.
No.
But
Which is,
I don't think that's the point of the movie. It's kind of just like they're there to deliver these jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like there's a bit where it's after Bart goes out to like just help out the town and just talk to the people, and like he just gets brutally annihilated by that old woman, and he goes back and he's upset, and Gene Wilder says they're morons, and apparently that was unscripted. He just said it, and you can like see him just like Bart just burst out laughing.
Yeah,
which was like not intentional.
I've seen that scene quite a few times actually. I think it's like a really big one.
Yeah,
people really enjoy. I do like it. Yeah, it is good, especially as an improvised line.
Yeah, I also like Gene Wilder's introduction in the movie where he's just like hanging upside down in his prison cell.
And it can't get up. Classic
We've all
Gene.
been there.
Classic Willy Wonka.
This is one of my favourite performances of his. He is really good in the movie, I think.
He is good, yeah. I like him a lot. Cool. Blazing Saddles. Should we rate it?
I'm trying to write it out of.
Mongos.
Oh, yeah.
You got that guy, Mongo,
like
who's
Mongo.
like
Oh,
this
yeah.
huge guy, and he's like, he gets chained up, and they're like, Mongo, we need your help. He's like, Mongo, only pawn in game of life.
And I was like, we feel that, man. We feel you, Mongo.
Thanks, Mongo.
Big up Mongo.
We rate you, Mongo.
Oh, fuck me. The old Trek 2 one.
All right, go on then, Chris.
Yeah, I still really like this movie. I think there's a lot of really funny, memorable moments. There's bits I don't massively love. And my opinion of it's definitely gone down over the years, but I still, again, have a soft spot for it in my heart. I give it 8 Mongos out of 10.
Yeah, a lot of it I don't think is very well handled. I don't like a lot of what they do and what they're saying. But I do like a few of the performances, honestly. The main ones are really good. And, you know, when it hits, it's pretty funny. And I think that bit with, like, the Jim proving he's the Waco kid, like, nothing happens, but he's like, he's like the fastest
So
guy ever,
skilled.
but, like, nothing's happened. That's always funny for some reason. Like, whenever they do it, it's really good. Lovely stuff, Mel. I'll give it, I'll probably give it a 5 Mongos out of 10 for now.
Yeah.
All right, I feel like it has potential to go up on a second watch.
Nice. Would you watch it again, do you think?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
But not for a little while.
As I don't think I would watch it again, but I'm glad that I did because it's one of those films that people talk about and they're like, "You've never seen this movie?" And I'm like, "No."
It's
and
one
now I
that
can.
I've heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, you would never make a movie like this today," which
I mean, you definitely wouldn't. To
I
be
don't
honest,
think is really true.
No.
I don't think you
like-
could make this.
People
now.
say, "Oh, they say the N word so much, you could never get away with that now." But like at the same time, I think this is kind of like one of the most woke movies ever. It's about a bunch of racist people who like see the error of their ways, and by the end of the movie, become good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still
You
don't.
can make a movie like that.
Yeah.
You've seen any Quentin Tarantino movie. He uses the N-word so flagrantly.
I think I think it would depend on who's actually directing the movie because there's just people that just cry about everything and anything in the world. So I
do
think
anything.
Huh?
Can't do anything these days.
You can't breathe, Max. You can't breathe.
These fucking Gen Zers and their TikTok generation.
Gen Zers.
Cancel you for fucking anything.
Where do we even fit in this? I'm not even getting back into this again. Yeah,
Just wait till TikTok discovers this movie.
Yeah, like I said, it's I'm glad that I've seen it because it's a movie that probably people say you should watch it and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, cool, I've watched it. So 7 Mongos out of 10.
A lot of people don't have the capacity to critically analyze things either, or understand satire.
The second you're upset by something,
oh my god, that's awful. Cancelled. Like, don't you know what satire is? They're like, it doesn't. No, I don't know what that is. It cancelled. People don't know how to look inward. These things.
Do you know what the word?
Examine what's being said and why it's being said.
See,
There's so many movies or whatever, tiny little things that happen, or just on Twitter or whatever. And they're like, "This is fucked. You're over forever." It's like, okay, just examine why is happening and the context of it.
See, and now Max just saying that alone has gotten this podcast cancelled. So therefore, we're going to pack up our shit and we're going to leave to the next movie.
Cry about the truth. Go ahead. Yeah.
It's true though. All you have to do is voice an opinion of. You're not even saying anything. You're just talking fucking reason. You're based, didn't you? And it just get
a life.
You'll get cancelled for it, Max. Just watch. Just watch this podcast go down in flames because someone gets upset with us.
Don't think so. What was your movie?
Yeah, I picked Young Frankenstein, which is also from 1974. Movie is about a young neurosurgeon, again played by Gene Wilder, called Dr. Victor von
Frankenstein?
Yeah, who is the great-grandson of the original Frankenstein who created the monster. He's been trying to get away from that huge figure over his life, and everyone's asking him about it, but he can't run away no longer. And he goes to the original castle and basically just does it again, makes a monster.
His morals go out the window.
Yeah,
and he's like, I would never do that. It was disgusting what he did, trying to reanimate the bodies of dead people, and that's insane. He was a crackpot, and then he goes there and reads one diary entry, and he's like, I'm gonna do it as well.
Yeah.
This is great. This is a really good movie. I really enjoyed this. Happy to watch a Mel Brooks movie that I'm like, yeah, come on, Mel. He's awesome. Actually, maybe he's pretty good. This is the best Gene Wilder performance I've seen, probably, bar the Willy Wonka one.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
actually prefer this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of I don't know. I think they might be equal for me, but he's very close.
Great. He's so good. It's such a phenomenal performance.
Yeah, it's one of the best comedic performances ever.
He's just so charismatic, isn't he? He's not even trying.
Yeah. In the Producers, I hate that he was screaming a lot, but in this, he's screaming with purpose.
I felt like it fit, you know?
It's you would. He's kind of insane also. So when he's making Frankenstein's monster and he's going up with the lightning coming out and he's doing that monologue or whatever, as an affront to God or whatever, it's fucking, you get it. You're like, you would be yelling and screaming like that.
Yeah, because he just made a scientific breakthrough. I think if you're a scientist, that's all you've ever wanted to do in it, is to make something or
just made a guy.
Yeah, do the first thing no one else has ever done.
Yeah,
it's pretty sick.
Giving birth in reverse.
Yes, in fact.
Apparently, this was actually Gene Wilder's favourite movie that he made out of everything.
Don't blame him. I really
feel like you can tell.
It's from 1974, but they really get the period sort of thing correct. It's in black and white. It feels like a movie that was made a lot earlier. How it's shot and how it looks.
It's a love letter to the old Universal monster movies, because it is a parody of Frankenstein, like
Yeah.
especially that movie. And there's loads of scenes in the movie that are basically just pulled directly from that, but with jokes added in, and it works really, really well. Kind of like, it reminds me of what they do in like those like scary movie and epic movie sort of things, where they do just
they
take
mimic
another
it,
movie
but,
and they're
yeah.
like, here's this movie, here's a shit joke, but it's like,
It's a shit show.
in this
Yeah.
it works because the jokes are funny and they actually feel fitting in the scenes.
Yeah, there's obviously a difference between parody for the sake of parody and parody for the sake of an homage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it definitely serves its purpose, doesn't it?
And it's like, I don't think any of the jokes are like poking fun at it. It's always like just an unrelated joke just in the scene, but it
Mhm.
works in the context of the scene.
Yeah. I don't know how you can really like tear apart these works of literature, you know. They're classics. Like who hasn't said everything there is to say about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
but like I hate to bring up the whole like was it like the whole cancel culture thing again, but they actually did try to cancel Frankenstein at one point in time. So
Why is that?
do you know what? I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look
You
this
don't even
up.
know. He was too good looking. Yeah. I think like everyone's like on top form as well. This is like the only one in this list of movies that we're doing today where I'm like, these characters are like really, really great. The other ones, like I could say, like, yeah, they're pretty good actually. I don't really mind the ones in The Producers or in Blazing Saddles, but here I'm like, these are fantastic characters. All of them are like really good.
Yeah, I think it works that they're played incredibly well by the actors, and they all have their own like specific like type of humor that kind of
Yeah.
just comes together really well.
I love that Igor guy. Like, no, my name's not Igor.
He's
it's
brilliant.
Igor.
Yeah, Marty Feldman is played
Yeah.
by. He's fantastic in it.
So good, yeah.
It's-
He just like stops speaking like a weird like little gremlin guy, and he's like, I can just speak like this actually, and it's fine. Yeah, he just stops speaking like an idiot.
Yeah. There's a lot of really memorable jokes from him, like when he first meets him and he like goes down the steps and he's like, walk this way, and then hands him his walking stick. So he does. That's
Yeah.
great. The hump as well that like moves.
Yeah, it keeps changing sides.
Apparently that was like an ad lib because they accidentally put it on the wrong side during one of the takes.
That's great. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like goes wrong. That's how you get like the best kind of. That's how you get things that you would never think of, and they work.
Yeah. And he constantly like looks at the camera and like addresses the audience as well. But I think it
Yeah.
actually works. Really funny. I don't
Yeah.
normally like that kind of thing.
No, there's a lot of it in these Mel Brooks movies,
Yeah.
but yeah, in this one it didn't annoy me too much.
Yeah. The biggest ones in this film, Spaceballs, like there's that actual scene where to find out where like the bad guys trying to find out where the good guys are, so they literally just take a cassette tape of the movie off the shelf and put it in to find them.
It's great. It's great stuff. Yeah, there's like some weird. There's like brutal stuff that goes on in this movie as well. Like there's some pretty.
I
fucked up
finally
shit as well.
found it.
Oh, you've been looking this whole time.
Yeah. Because
What
I
did I
was like,
ask?
wait, did I just like gaslight myself into like thinking that
why Frankenstein was cancelled?
well, less cancelled, but apparently like millennials are getting blamed for like speaking out about like why like English literature modules have Frankenstein in it, because apparently he was just like a poor innocent monster and he was misunderstood and he's a victim, and it could have been protected by human rights laws of today and all this kind of other shit that I'm just reading as I'm going. Basically,
Well, you can't write about exploitation.
apparently not. That's literally.
Is it not about like
Yeah,
exploitation?
it says they didn't read the novel properly. Obviously,
Yeah.
It's like-
Can't
Yeah,
just be
is that the
like
whole point?
in this movie or this book, someone was exploited, and it's wrong to exploit people. So this is
Yeah.
cancelled.
That kind of shit pisses me off. It's like
it's
that,
so
that episode of It's Always
stupid.
Sunny that's been removed from everything because they have
Yeah.
blackface in it. But like the whole purpose is the fact that these characters are so ignorant and stupid that they think blackface is okay.
Yeah, it's all about context.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just it's stuff like that. It just confuses me because I feel like, imagine being so able to pick apart things to like no end, but for like no useful purpose other to like just complain about stuff. Like you
People
have a
with their
really
fucking
good
notebooks
skill
being
here.
like, James Gunn, tweet number 752, date 2011, January 2nd. He
At
said a bad
10:05
word.
a.m.
It's like, okay. It doesn't matter. Like, what?
It's awful, isn't it?
We're moving ever closer to just a black and white society, and there's no room for like nuance at all in anything anymore.
No.
Sickening.
I just thought it was really funny, so I just had to bring it up because I was like, no, I remember seeing this on a TikTok because this guy was talking about like how insane it is that we've developed so much as a human race, but we're going like backwards of understanding somehow, like because we're almost too good at being like the only way I can really compare it is if like everyone has to have the participation trophy, you know what I mean? Like everyone has to be included, everything's left out and all that other kind of shit.
When somebody can't be arrested because what they did was not illegal, they're cancelled because it rubbed people the wrong way.
Yeah.
There's like weird stuff in this movie that's like definitely not. I was like, oh, what the fuck? There was like a weird sort of rape scene in this.
Oh, yeah.
Where like it was sort of played as a gag, but like
yeah.
What was it? Frankenstein's monster was like he like tried to have sex with Frankenstein's fiance, and she was like, "No, don't do this." And then he does it. It's like, but then she like likes it, so it's okay, I suppose.
Yeah, because I guess they're trying to joke about the fact that he's got this monster great schlong dong, and they're like, "Oh, that makes it okay." And then, like, I was just sitting there, like, you know, the fight or flight thing that I'm talking about. I was like, "Oh, this is gross and weird."
No, it's not weird because she ended up liking it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all right.
So it's okay.
I'm a little bit uncomfortable, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
It was.
That was the only time I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like, I feel like everyone
Really?
was kind of sitting there going, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little cringy, but I don't like have as big an issue with that joke as I do as some of the others in the other two.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there
Certainly
was so many like worse things in
It's
these
kind of
movies,
one
but it was just
I just let it pass because the whole movie is so like ridiculous that it just kind of feels in keeping with the context of the movie.
Oh, I felt like it kind of was a bit like out of pocket.
Yeah.
To me, like that's why the joke kind of didn't land on me because I was like, "This is weird." Like, what?
It sat with me for like a little bit after that. I was like,
Yeah, I just felt like it wasn't in context with the movie personally, but that was just that one bit in particular. The rest of it was fine.
What? I like how like when he like broke out and like was free and he like talked to other people, like they kind of liked him and like he was with that little girl and she was like doing like stuff with flowers with him and then like they were on the seesaw together. Or like when he saw the old man and he was blind, he like offered him like soup. But then like he goes back and he gets like captured by Gene Wilder and he's like, people hate you. They hate looking at you. It's like, no, they don't.
Yeah, he's had nothing but nice experiences.
Everyone except you has been really nice to him.
Yeah. That's actually a thought. I never actually picked up on that. And that's actually really true. Like he's never had a bad time. Yeah.
He also has had no contact with anybody else who has like seen the monster.
Yeah.
So how would he know? He just doesn't. He's like, they hate you because he knows. Yeah, he's a freak. Of course they hate him. He's a freak.
Yeah, it's a bit of a low blow.
Yeah. Got to say the funniest part was probably that seesaw scene.
That is really good.
Where are you fucking? He's playing seesaw with the little girl, and she's like, "Get on the seesaw, get on!" And then he like does it, and while he's doing that, her parents are looking for her because they've heard that like a monster is on the loose, and like they boarded up the windows, and they're like, "Where the fuck is she? Have you checked upstairs?" And the mother's like, no, I haven't checked upstairs. Let's go look upstairs. And then he like Frankenstein's monster like sits on the seesaw and fucking launches the girl into the sky. And he's just like, the way it was done, it was like you didn't see her go up, but you just saw him like look up and over, and then she like lands. She like smashes through her window and like lands in her bed.
With
and
the
her parents
fucking cover on.
Yeah, and on the cover on, and her parents go up to the room and they're like, "There she is."
Yeah.
Fine. That was gold.
Yeah, that
it
was.
is great.
fucking
And
amazing.
it's so impressively done as well.
How did they do
Genuinely
that?
a great bit of filmmaking.
It's
It
really
is,
funny.
Yeah, it's so good.
My favourite bit of the whole movie is the putting on the Ritz scene,
Yeah.
which is so
Ritz.
like famous and iconic. It's like the big moment from the movie, I think, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, it kills me every time.
I've never seen that scene before, but that was gold. Like, because Chris always does this thing, right, where he'll like tell me about something and he'll be like, "Oh, there's this really funny bit in the movie," or like, you know, when he's like, "There's a really sad bit" or something. I'll be
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, all right, Chris," but this was actually really
Yeah,
fucking
it's honestly
funny.
one of my favourite moments in any comedy. It's just so good.
It was good. I did wonder why at a science sort of, whatever you call it, like a convention
Yeah.
or whatever, he's showing them a scientific marvel, and then he's like, "Now we're going to do this dance for you to," I mean, fair enough if they do a little dance to show
Yeah.
off like his motor skills, but then like he stops the dance and all the scientists are there like, "Boo! Boo! How dare you stop
I
doing
think it's
the
also
dance?"
to kind of show that it has a heart and like there is lightness to him.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone, like, as soon as he comes out, people are like screaming and gasping because they're like, "Oh
Mhm.
my god, it's this evil monster like we've had previously." But
Yeah.
no, they're like, "Gonna do a show tune."
Yeah. The King Kong him.
Yeah,
Ritz.
Well, why are you turning against him when he's like, he doesn't want to do the dance anymore? Like, is this a fucking science show or a dance show? Aren't you scientists? Like the prime thing should have been like,
Mm.
this is insane in terms of like a scientific discovery or like invention. But they're like, he didn't do the dance. Get him.
Yeah.
Another one of my favourite sequences is the blind man scene with blind man played by Gene Hackman.
Yeah, fuck. It's
Yeah,
good.
I think it was like one of his early performances. But yeah, he's really good in it.
He is good. When he like poured that soup on him, oh man, it's good stuff.
Accidentally smashes his glass of wine doing a toast.
Yeah, like that man must have a powerful punch. Like, how the fuck did he do that?
The worst dinner in the world.
It is so good. I think one of the things I love about the movie so much is that on top of it obviously being constantly hilarious, it's just like a genuinely really well made movie.
Mm-hmm.
They really do nail the look and feel of one of those old like Universal monster movies. It looks like exactly like those did. They like the attention to detail was ridiculous, especially in like the costumes and the sets, which all look really, really well made.
Fucking lovely.
There's a lot of really creative camera work as well. A lot of like crash zooms and like zooms and pulls used for comedic effects that I think works really well. A lot of like freeze frames as well, which are also used like quite comedically, which I think work really well.
Yeah.
And I love the music as well. I think that's really great. See, there's that that motif that played at one point, and it was like the song used in that chipmunk meme.
Oh god, yeah.
The chipmunk turning around.
Bum, bum, bum. That's great. Good stuff. It is. I really like. Yeah, I like all the sets and like how they like going down or like through the village whenever they got like a nice village shot. I was like, wow, that's cool. We're like going down the brick paths or whatever. I like the Igor's eyes. How the fuck? His eyes just like pop out of his skull.
And they're like,
fucked.
they're like in two different areas.
Yeah.
Like that one's
clearly
one.
his eyes. Like,
How?
Yeah,
yeah, it's fucked.
that's just what he looked like, the actor.
Oh, right.
Oh, fair enough. Like, no, that.
Well, fair play.
Sunday
power
movie
to him.
marathon's cancelled.
Yeah, I think he had like a disease, but he like used that to his advantage and made fun of it a lot,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
which is
It's a
good.
cracking
Yeah.
performance.
yeah.
Yeah, he's so good in it.
You got to roll with it.
Mm.
I also love the guy who plays the the German in the producers comes back to play the like head of police or something.
Yeah, he's like a detective, right?
Yeah, he's got like a wooden arm that he's constantly moving into place.
He's great. They use him as a battering ram to get into the castle. It's crazy.
And there's the bit where you first see him when he like sets his finger alight to light his cigarette.
Yeah. It's great. Like at the end, he's like, I just want to like spread love. And they're all like, oh, that's fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah,
He's like,
everyone's just so
let's
chill.
go. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. And then the monster accidentally pulls his arm off.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks again, Mel, for Young Frankenstein 1974. 2 movies in the same year. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, pretty mad.
Yeah. I think this was like Gene Wilder's baby. I think he wrote a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
He had the initial idea for it and he was like, well, you need to do this for your next movie.
Yeah. Thank God. Thank God he did.
Yeah.
This is cracking stuff. Gromit. Cool. What are we going to rate this one out of?
Eagles?
I mean, eyeballs.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I love this movie. It's, I think, one of the best comedies ever made. I've not seen it in a few years, but rewatching it, just like all the love I had for it just kind of all came back. I remembered why I used to love it so much. Just constantly hilarious. Really, really well made movie. I think I would actually give it 10 eyeballs out of 10.
It's great. Yeah, it's really good stuff. I really like it is one of Gene Wilder's best ones,
Yeah.
I think, for me. And probably out of the 3, probably my favourite. We'll also give it not also, but I will give it 8 eye gauze out of 10. Really like it. I would watch it again, probably quite soon.
Yeah, I'd watch it again. It was quite fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Good
It was-
group movie, I think.
Yeah. You going to rate it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also going to give it an 8 eyeballs out of 10.
Okay.
Oh my
Lovely
God.
stuff. Thanks, Mel, for that. That's that then.
It
Episode
is.
109 in the books. Next week, we're not going to be able to do it together. The movies. So we're going to pick from the wheel that we can watch at home. And hopefully that'll be all right, because I don't have Wi-Fi at the new place yet. But I think Chris will pirate some shit for me if he has to.
Yeah, or lend you anything if I've got it and you don't. Or
Yeah.
we'll sort
Cool.
something out.
We're going to spin a wheel. Who's going to tell us what we're going to watch for episode 110?
Come up with westerns.
I don't want to.
No,
Oh, thank God.
we just did one.
We just did one western, so we're going to spin again. We got to get rid of these like genres or whatever, I feel.
Let's come up with another director.
No. Well,
This really
one
defeats
more.
the purpose of a fucking wheel, doesn't it? to be
No,
honest, boys?
one more, and then that's the one we're doing.
Okay.
This is upsetting.
Oh, okay. Brendan Gleeson movies.
We're doing Brendan Gleeson.
I laughed
movie.
because it was about to land on Tom Hanks movies.
Ah, okay. We'll do Brendan Gleeson then. Cool.
Do you know what? I like both, so you know what? Cool.
Well, check in the description to see what those are. Coming at you with 3 Brendan Gleeson movies in episode 110. Until then, follow the social media. YouTube is the Sunday Movie Marathon. Instagram is at Sunday Movie Pod. Twitter is at Sunday Movie Pod. Facebook is at Sunday Movie Marathon. And Letterboxd is at Sunday MM.
Woo!
Capital S, capital MM. Remember to like, subscribe, and rate the podcast 5 stars if you so wish.
Wow!
Do we have anything else to... Wow!
Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
Wow!
Thanks, Mel B. Love you, Mel.
We all love you,
Well.
Mel.
I guess. But sort of.
Do we?
See you later.